Hello, people in the future. Welcome to another adventure in asking accountability call. Um, I'm Leela. Those are Naomi's eyebrows, along with the rest of her. But her eyebrows are kind of feisty today. What is with those feisty eyebrows?
Adventures.
So we have an official topic today, but we can talk about the last few weeks if you'd like. What would you like to do?
Topic is fine. Okay. I don't know. Last few weeks have been a lot of breakdowns and a lot of asking, a lot of this kind of goes a little bit with today's topic, actually. Asking without groveling, asking without pleading, asking with demands. And when I'm talking about with demands, I'm not talking about people in our lives, although that can happen too. I'm talking Leela last week. Leela and I ended up not doing our live call because I had a bit of a breakdown. But we talked about getting your guardians, your angels, your guides, your whatever word you call them, your see-throughs, if see-throughs are helping you, whatever it is,
You're see-through.
getting
I
them
love that.
getting them to get to work for you. And that's kind of what for me came out of that, because there have been times, okay, please help me. Oh, and really what we talked about was sometimes you get to the point where you're like, you need to go make this happen because this is your job. My job is to show up, but your job is to go take care of all this, the how side of it.
Yeah.
And
So,
demanding and asking is what it's been for me this week.
yeah. Yay.
Commanding.
Give me stuff. So, I have this book on my bookcase called Hiring the Heavens. It's one of my
Ooh.
it's one of my favorite tools. And the theory is that for every physical earth plane job, there is a celestial component. So I need to get my real estate agent to get her shit together and find our house, like right now. So Naomi and I had that conversation where I was like, dude, just tell your people to like go handle it. Like get your PR person to fill up your courses and blah blah blah. And then what happened?
Well, then what happened? I kind of went, wait, what? But once I employed that, it was like, oh, and maybe it's the Midwest upbringing. Maybe it's the way in the religion I was brought up, how you should pray and presenting yourself humbly and all this. It's like, what I can demand it of my crew. I can command them, go do this. I can delegate like a badass. What? But once I did, I ended up getting a call from a woman who's like, I want to coach with you. I'm ready to coach with you. I want to pay in full. By the way, we haven't even started, but I have my food journal done. I don't know what planet this person is from, but I will take it. Holy cow, yeah. Total, perfect, ideal, all the parts and pieces of the type of individual I want to work with. Oh my God. My crew came through. It was crazy.
And what did you ask for like before she showed up?
What I had asked for, well, we had talked about the filling courses and the ideal clients, and part of it was a monetary amount. There is a monetary amount that I want, I desire, I need, I must have. It's non-negotiable by the end of the month. That one was a by the end of the week. And then and I'm going to add on, and here's what I want it to be monthly going forward. And I recognize just in saying that, there's still that part of me that's like, okay, so I hope that comes through. So I recognize that there's a bit of trusting that I get to work on with, that my crew is out there doing what they need to do to make it happen. They're working on the how and trusting that they're going to get the how done. But they did last week.
And was it a little bit more than you asked for that came through?
No.
No? Is the exact amount?
Yeah.
Okay. What usually happens with me is I'm like, I would like to have, and the universe is like, here, have extras.
Yeah, no, it was, I think it was actually just shy of what we had said.
Okay.
It had the right number of, is that you or me?
Both of us, because you're frozen.
Are you back?
Yeah. Am I?
Okay. Yep, you're wiggling now.
Yeah, it was both of us.
Showing one of us, I don't know if it's me or you, one of us has unstable bandwidth or whatever.
Both of us. All of the computers over here are on the Wi-Fi. I think I should probably kick people off of things.
Yeah, my husband is using it as well. And although our provider, since we do plugs all the time, I'm going to do an unplug. Our provider Spectrum likes to say how fabulous their service is, but sketchy at best.
Same.
So Spectrum, time to improve.
Yeah,
so we
Spectrum.
Can plug you instead of plug you.
Yes, Spectrum, get your stuff together.
Get your Spectrum, you need to get your crew working for you.
I was just thinking that. That's phenomenal. I love it.
I'd have to say that was probably one of the more powerful and evident law of attraction type of experiences I've had in a while. And I recognize we're always attracting everything, whether it feels frustrating, but there's a lesson in it, whether it, what are you drinking? Because it looks like fruit punch from when we were little.
It's actually ruby red grapefruit juice.
Is what?
Ruby red grapefruit juice.
Oh, I love me some grapefruits and grapefruit juice. Anyway.
I started our call with an ask. I texted the honey and I was like, will you please bring me a glass of juice? And it got delivered.
That's awesome.
And I said, thank you.
Perfect. So yeah, that's kind of how the last few weeks have unfolded. And what's been really great, what has come from that, besides the fact that my crew's working for me and things are happening and moving in the way that I want them to, with the people showing up who are committed to the work, which that's a huge key piece. But it's also given me an opportunity to step back and see some of the things I wasn't giving myself credit for, or us credit for, us being my half side and I. There were some things that there was just, it wasn't that I was ungrateful, I just wasn't recognizing the gratitude, if that makes sense. So it's like we ended up with a 25% rent increase in November. And so there have been a couple months that have been really amazing and a couple months that have been really feeling tight, because 25% is a pretty big freaking jump. And we're making it work. And it's like, and there have been some other big expenses in a couple of the months that it's like, okay, so what do we need to shift and do and call in and make and create? And it's like, okay, and that's with the 25% rent increase. I got this. The crew has this. And there hadn't been the gratitude. And I think that that's a piece of the asking too, is the gratitude. Yeah, I've been saying thanks for the clients who show up that are amazing clients. I've been, gratitude for being gifted the coaching program that I was gifted a scholarship into. She gave away 2 scholarships and I happened to be one of them. Huge gratitude for those. Those are the obvious things. And I recognized in this process of asking and the breakdown that Leela helped me clear that it hadn't dawned on me to celebrate and be thankful for the fact that things have fallen into place in such a way that a 25% rent increase didn't cripple us. We're handling it. The crew's handling it.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of sort of the which side of the ask are you on? Are you doing the asking? Is something being asked of you? And then on the opposite side of that, I think is the gratitude piece. Because I think the more gratitude I know for myself, the more gratitude I show, the more that shows up.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's unique to me. I think that's one of those universal law type of things.
Yeah, it's part of the process of miracle making for me. Mm-hmm. Extreme gratitude is step 1.
Oh.
And I call it extreme gratitude because it is expressing gratitude for the shitty things.
Yeah.
So, I give thanks that my car has no AC.
That my cruise control stopped working and that it ate my CDs. Yeah, I haven't found gratitude for that one just yet.
Well, you don't have to feel the gratitude. You just have to say, I give thanks that the car ate my damn CDs.
My half side likes to talk about that from a standpoint of finding gratitude for those things that bring you to your knees.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in finding the gratitude for it, what makes it true so that you can start feeling it. Because when we feel things, it shifts the vibration of it. At least that's what I have found to be true. And there's always that, okay, so if your AC is not working, great. I'm grateful my AC is not working. In the background in my head, I'd be like, and it's motherfucking hot and But what's the lesson? Where's the lesson? What's the juicy bit? And I know you and I have been texting back and forth from both sides on some things that have shown up that could easily be those extreme gratitude pieces.
Yeah. Yeah, buddy.
And it's sort of a reframe. How can you look at it from a place of, oh my God, that is some juicy shit showing up. That's awesome.
Yeah, so in terms of extreme gratitude, it's a practice from Melody Beattie's Make Miracles in 40 Days. The entire book is this process. I've added this process to several other processes that I found to be beneficial in the miracle making process. So if you need a miracle, holla at your girl.
It's true. People do it.
It has a process for you. But extreme gratitude, I did it with a partner. I did it for 5 years before I stopped. No, 3 or 4 years before I stopped. We were on day 1,000 plus when I stopped. And it was every day we wrote a list. If you do it with an accountability partner, make sure that it's someone who can bite their tongue, because the idea of receiving your list is literally just to witness it. They are not to fix, they are not to advise, they are not to suggest. If they're going to pray for you, they need to go away and pray for you. They don't need to tell you they're going to pray for you. Like, this needs to be a completely judgment-free zone.
And a fixed zone, I hear.
And a fixed-free zone, yes. Yeah. And so there were things when I first started writing my list, and it's 10 plus things. It was, I give thanks that I have no idea where we're going to live in 3 weeks. I think when I started, it was 6 weeks. I have no idea where we're going to live in 6 weeks. I only have $700 in the bank. I feel like a horrible mom. I can't stop crying because I literally couldn't, like, I wasn't sad. I was just leaking all the time. And I didn't have a car, and I didn't have childcare, and I didn't have, and all of this. And within 3 weeks, we had a secure space where I could chillax and get my shit together. I knew for a year minimum. Like, I knew I could be there for a year, rent free, and
Nice.
get my life together. But that came out of the process of every day. This sucks, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks. And then I could set it aside. So, like, I've made my suck list. I've slapped thank you for all the suckage here. And then I've gone on about my life. I'm not revisiting it. I'm not carrying it with me throughout the day. It's not a process that I need to process throughout the day. It's literally a list. I do it before bed because I wake up happy. I'm one of those obnoxious people that wakes up without their problems most of the time. But by the end of the day, I'm like, that bitch ran into me with a cart. These children have not done one fucking dish. They've played video games all damn day. Like, I've got a list of things to slather with gratitude by the time my day's over. I was making dinner and I got triggered and I couldn't process my trigger because I was making fucking dinner. And I didn't want
I think
to
I got a list right.
I didn't want to stab anybody because I was pretty sure I was triggered and it wasn't their fault. You know. But then,
Gratitude for those people who make me stabby.
right. But then, like, the miracle is I ended up in a living space. Melody Beatty, when she started doing this, she was pregnant and unemployed and living in this money pit house, but didn't have any money to put in the pit. It was just
Uh,
a dilapidated house. And she was pregnant. So she started writing this list of, I give thanks that the house needs so many repairs and I have no idea how we're going to do it. And by the time the baby was born, the house is fixed. And the baby had a nursery complete with a crib and diapers and shit. Just somebody cussy is around today because I don't typically, I'm cussy, but not usually this much.
it's like you're channeling me.
It could be you, it could be my grandma. She likes,
I like her.
she likes fuck. But yeah, so I don't know. Maybe I'm channeling Melody. Who knows? But um, but she talked about, like, that was her miracle. That was the miracle she created. And she had her accountability partner at the time had a wine habit to the tune of, I give thanks that I drank an entire bottle of wine with dinner. I drank an entire bottle of wine with dinner. And, you know, she talked about the challenge of, like, being that person's accountability partner. Like, you can't intervene. You just can't. I mean, potentially if they are, like, pills in hand suiciding, then intervene. But short of that, let them process. And her accountability partner did her process, and this was all they did. Like, the art of miracle making has, like, forgiveness and other practices involved, energy clearing and all that stuff. They just did the extreme gratitude. That's all they did. And it makes miracles all by itself.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, and it's such what you said, I think, is a really great thing, because how often do so many of us, it swirls up in here, and every time it circles back around, we revisit it, and whereas if we can get it out and are committed to, once it's on that piece of paper and on that list, once it's on the list, it's no longer ours, it's the list's.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's huge, because it frees up your gray matter to put your attention and focus on other things.
And we talked about this, like I texted you about like letting go of the resistance. I don't
Yeah.
know if we talked about the resistance or if I was just texting you about the resistance, but people in the future. So I realized that I was watching Edwene Gaines, one of my favorite spiritual teachers. She wrote The Four Spiritual Laws of Prosperity. I am not being paid for this commercial, but Edwene, if you want to hook us up with a tithe, I'm available. Um,
What's the name of that book?
The Four Spiritual Laws of Prosperity.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So Edwene talks about forgiveness, and two things. The first, a recent story that I hadn't heard before. Her ex-husband, one of her ex-husbands came to mind. Already I'm amused. One of. So she sat down and she wrote, I don't know if she wrote or she prayed blessings over him. And she said that this was not like, oh, I have warm fuzzy feelings about him, let me bless him. This was more like, that no good somebody let me bless him. And she said she did that for about half an hour until she ran out of steam, and then she had not heard from him, talked to him in decade plus, and she got a letter in the mail from him wishing her peace and happiness and prosperity, and thanking her for the blessing that she was to his life, and a check for $3,000. She said, I pray for him every week. But it reminded me of my lovely ex-husband.
Huh.
And how I do not think blessings and peace and prosperity when I think of him. Like, Christians talk about being convicted. I was convicted in that moment that I should probably start the process of praying for him. So him and another
Yeah, I
person.
mostly roll my eyes at mine. Now that you say that, I don't wish him ill, but I just kind of roll my eyes. I'm
I
more
would
likely
throw
to say,
him off of a bridge.
huh?
I would throw him off of a bridge. I would not. I would feel.
I'd probably throw yours over a bridge too. Just saying.
Wouldn't feel bad about it. Wouldn't like. I need a little bit of work. So I haven't gotten around to forgiving him. I wonder what's gonna happen when I do. But there was a less charged situation in my world. Somebody that I just sort of bristled about when I was in there. I wasn't annoyed. I wasn't upset. That Abraham talks about having like something stuck in your craw, just
Yeah.
sort of irritating a little bit, but not even enough for you to do. Just like a buzzy fly, just But the process of shooing the fly away is energy that I could be doing some other shit with.
Right.
And so I noticed that the next time I was around that person, there was still that buzzing, but it wasn't like here, it was like over here. And I was like, aha, I shall be praying more. More blessings their way.
Right.
So that was really juicy.
Well, and the good and the bad of it, when we got something stuck in our craw, or somebody rubs us the wrong way, or they make us bristle, or they trigger us, or whatever you want to say. One of the best and most annoying things I learned in studying NLP is the question is, what about this is about me? What about them is about me?
Yes, I was very aware of that. I was really aware that they were.
Oh, I know you are.
Yeah, that they were just a part of the experience. Literally just a part of the experience. Nothing to do with them. They are perfectly lovely human being.
Yeah. Which
they just got my my toy.
Right. Right. And that's such an interesting, is dichotomy the right word here? It feels like
Possibly.
it.
Yeah.
Um, in that situation, it's not the person, it's, but they're a player, they're a piece of the puzzle, but it isn't about, it's not them, they're a lovely person, you like them, it's the whole picture and the role that they played in that scenario,
This person has my
unbeknownst to
toy.
them.
So we
Yeah.
at my job there's this Christmas party and they do white elephant gifts. And if you've
Yeah.
never done white elephant gifts, the boxes come wrapped and you draw numbers and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you pick the gift and you unwrap the gift, and if you want the gift you keep the gift, if you don't want the gift somebody else can have the gift and you can pick another gift. Well, I white elephanted somebody out of a gift that we both wanted. And it was kind of like that. Like, she got my toy and she's great, but I want my fucking toy.
Yeah, you stole mine.
You
Yeah.
stole my toy. Yeah.
So glad we didn't do that for opening Christmas presents as kids. I think I would have been traumatized
Oh my
by
God.
that game. It cracks me up at parties and organization events and stuff when they do it. Now it makes me laugh, but oh my God, it was awful. As a kid, that would have been terrible. But yeah, she
There
got
was
my toy. I opened this and you stole it from me.
I did. Yes, I did. And the
Yeah.
really funny thing is, like, I'm not even mad at the right people. Like, I should
Right.
have been mad at my crew because, or I should have either been mad at my crew or the translators because I had a message that that toy was my toy. And then somebody else got the toy. So now I'm just
So don't
irritated
tell
with the
me I got the
person.
toy if I ain't got the toy.
Right. So now I'm irritated with the person with the toy because I didn't get the toy. But now I need to like sit down with my crew and be like, what did you people do? But in all honesty, like there are bigger, better toys like in my
Right.
playground here lately. So, keep that toy. It's okay. Bless you, honey.
Right. Your toy might end up looking like the toy I got. We didn't do the steal the present game because there were way too many of us at an event I was at last year. But what was in my bag, it was kind of like, oh, another scarf. I have like, I don't know. I don't even live where it's freaking cold, people. But I've got scarves because I'm not talking, frilly girly scarves. I'm talking like, red plaid, warm scarves. I just do. Because I'll say it gets cold here, but it really doesn't. And it was another scarf. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's nice. Well, when I got home and I pulled it out of the bag, $20 fell out of it. And I'm like, okay. And I have been wearing and love the scarf, but it was like, ooh, sometimes we have to look beyond. This isn't the toy I really wanted.
Right.
Because maybe what's inside of or alongside that toy or instead of sometimes is a better thing. But like you said, sometimes it's the translation. It's like I had my expectations set, just like with the asking. My ask was this, and I set my expectations up, and now I'm disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
So is it the translation? Did they not give you quite the right message? Yes, this is yours. It's in the bag. Oh, we didn't really mean that. We meant something else. Sorry. Was
Yeah.
it translation? Or was it the whole setting up expectations when we have an ask?
So, yes.
Yeah. Right?
I know that I always get the essence of what I ask for. I also know that at the time that that toy exchange went down, my vibration was in I don't even want to be on this playground. Like forget the swing sets or the merry-go-round. Like I don't even want to be on the playground at all. So there was
Right.
no way quantum physics wise I could have gotten that toy. because I didn't want to be on the
Mm-hmm.
playground. As
Yeah, you don't want to be on the playground. You ain't getting the tetherball, you ain't getting the hopscotch, you ain't getting nothing because everything about you is that's the whole commanding, demanding, the this is where I'm at and this is what I want. If you had been convicted that you wanted that toy and your whole being was the toy is mine, you probably would have gotten the toy.
yeah, no, I was lazy about it. So we were watching
You wanted it, but you didn't want it.
um Spoiled Rich Kid Lazy. Like,
Well, like I said, you
somebody's
didn't want to be on the playground. It's like, whatever.
somebody's giving that to me. Like, whatever. Yeah, basically. Yeah, totally. Um and like I said, bigger, shinier, more delicious toys. And what was really funny was that person said to me, um, you are capable of bigger, shinier toys.
Nice.
Yeah. I was just, I heard it, like, I received it for everything that it was, and I rolled my eyes inside because I was like, fuck you, you have my toy.
Right. Yeah, in the moment, it's just like, that's cute and nice, F off.
Exactly. Um, but thinking about the translation, I was told that I would have to go after it. And in hindsight, I didn't go after it. It also changed a few times between that conversation and the gifting of said toy. So I was potentially thinking I was getting like a top of the line $3,000 computer. Is that like a really expensive computer? I don't know. I was thinking I was getting like this huge toy that I have no idea how to play with actually. This huge learning curve and I'm gonna be faking some of it. To actually, we're giving out a PlayStation 3. Oh, I can handle that. I know how to work a PlayStation 3. In fact, I have a PlayStation 3 at home and I play with it all the time. Okay, that's great, but we're gonna give the PlayStation 3 to the other person. But they told me it was mine. Like, this is yours was translated to me as it's yours. Not like, no, really, you know, those abs, they're yours, they're in there, but you're gonna have to cut out the midnight snacks and actually go for walks, runs, do some crunches, eat some green veggies. Like, you're gonna have to work for the abs. I'm over here like, oh, well, you know, they told me I could have abs, so I'm just gonna chill and wait for the abs to be delivered.
I'm listening for the knock on the door. I'm sure they're coming from Amazon, so they'll be here by tonight. If I text your honey, will he bring me some ruby red grapefruit juice? That looks so damn good.
He might. He likes California.
Oh, see, there you go. It's a long way to go to deliver some juice, but all right.
Oh, I guess I should tell him that's where I'd like to visit next. That's another conversation, though, for after the recording.
California on September 22nd.
Okay, what's happening September 22nd?
That is my one-day retreat. So,
Okay.
and it's also the fall equinox. So, right?
Okay. Oh man.
So that's my ask. My ask is that you come to California in September if you're coming this year. I put the if you're coming this year.
Look, ladies and gentlemen, this is what Leela freaking out looks like. If I could teleport and bring the children, um, we're going to talk more about this because I would like to say yes to that. Oh, this is juicy. So I'm trying to remember what it was about now, but let's make it about going to California in September. Why not?
Okay.
So, for those of you who might not know, I am a multimodality healing artist, and my favorite modality at the moment is Access Consciousness. And Access believes that questions create, and decisions create stopping points. So once you decide, then it's done. So there are some things that I have decided that are really interesting. Like I have decided that I can't possibly afford to travel the six of us on an airplane. But like how many limitations is that? What else is possible? Like, do we all have to come? Are there places I could put the children for a weekend? For sure. For sure the answer to that is yes. Is it more affordable to hire a sitter for the weekend than to
Oh,
bring all four minis with us?
right?
But yeah, like
Almost certainly yes.
super, super juicy.
If not, I need to start babysitting.
And then like, how many how many vacation days can I use?
All right,
I'm looking
crew,
at
get
this
on
like,
it.
yeah, I'm looking at this like, is that a weekend that I'm off? Who cares? Just figure it out.
Yeah, it's not like it's next weekend and you're going to have to scramble. There's time. There's time for the crew to get on it.
Exactly.
Who knows? Maybe the crew will find a private plane that's coming this way and they need extra passengers and charge half the price. You know, hey, why not?
My private plane owner just called. Her private plane isn't owned by her yet, but
See?
we were talking about that while we were in Chicago. Colin said something about owning a boat, and then he said that you don't want to own the boat, you want to be friends with the person that owns the boat. And I was like, well, I already got the private plane part down. Like I'm pretty, but I like the water enough that I would be fine with owning a yacht.
I will be your friend when you own the yacht. Well, I'm your friend now, but
Yeah,
I don't want to own a boat. I'm not much of a water person, but they're fun to go on every now and again.
you
So I'll
don't
be
need
friends
to
with you
own
when
the
you own a
yacht. Just have retreats on the yacht every now and then. Help the yacht
boat.
pay for itself. No retreat at sea.
I'm not a water person.
I love the water. I might be part duck. I had a thought, but we'll talk about it after because it's way off topic.
Perfect. So what else, from an ask standpoint, gratitude as the flip side, the other side of the coin to asking, including the extreme gratitude exercise, which I think is brilliant. Asking, commanding. The first time I heard that, the whole demand of the universe, or as Leela and I have been talking about, of your crew and your guides and guardian angels and whatever other word you want to stick on them, label them however you will. The first time I heard that, demanding, it felt really uncomfortable, because I think for me, because part of it is, well, that's, if you're demanding, you're not taking the other person's feelings into consideration. If you're demanding, you're being selfish. If you're demanding, you're running roughshod over people. If you're demanding, there's that whole politeness aspect. But when the same person used the word commanding the universe, and then they started talking about being a conscious creator, it was like, okay, that I can completely get behind. Commanding the universe, it's not demanding in that I'm throwing a temper tantrum at almost 50. It's that whole, I'm commanding this, I'm speaking it into existence, really. And I'm just getting the crew helping, and they need to stop playing cards back there. Unless somebody's really way up and winning, then finish the game. But finish it fast because you got work to do.
And
Right?
share the poker winnings with me.
Right?
So
Mine are probably playing Go Fish.
I like the idea of hiring the heavens. I like the
Yeah.
idea that it's their job to support us because it is. But you don't want to be that boss that's like an asshole.
Right.
But sometimes when I don't know, like I'm a fan of a tantrum. I really am. I've thrown two, and both of them have gotten me living spaces.
And I
um,
think throwing a tantrum, because we talked about this a little bit last week, throwing a tantrum in that, you know what, I'm done. I'm motherfucking done with this bullshit. This needs to switch. This needs to change. I'm willing to do my part of whatever that is to make that shift and change and step the motherfuck up.
right. So
Contra jerk face is different.
what you all didn't hear last week was my story about getting my apartment. And when I moved into the tiny space, I moved the kiddos and I into this one really tiny bedroom. Like that's that's one wall, y'all. It's not a very large room. My bed fills up most of it, and I was sharing it with three kiddos. So the former roommates and former ex-husband or former husband had moved out, and I'm here with the kiddos, and I have money and I'm offering the leasing agency, and I've submitted an application and blah blah blah, and I've enrolled the kiddos in school, and I have a job and I can afford the space, and they tell me no. And I'm like, no, this is not okay. I stayed in O'Fallon. I've put the kiddos in school. I turned down two other jobs in another house in another city because this. So now you need to turn their no into a yes because I'm just done. Kind of fit. And I did my processing and I did my work and I threw a fit. And then I walked myself back into the leasing office and I said, listen, I'm in the space. I have money. Just take the money and give me a lease because you're going to lose more money. You're already out 3 months rent. You're going to lose more money fixing up this space and putting it on the market and getting somebody else in here. They made a wise decision. I've been here for 4 years. I paid them a lot of late fees because it was rough. It was rough for a couple of years. But that kind of fit usually works out for me. But I've only had to do that twice.
Well, and that's where the whole, like with this toy that you wanted, but you didn't really work for it. And you said you weren't even really on the playground, honestly. When we're not on the playground,
I was upset about the whole playground. So when you don't have kiddos, but parents typically, when their children are fighting over one toy, I just take the whole damn toy. Nobody gets to play with it. So
I babysat, so
I'm mad with my toy. I don't want my toy. I want this new shiny toy over here. I don't want this toy that I have that works perfectly fine. It's a perfectly fine toy. I want the shiny toy. And I want it now. And I'm mad because I don't have it. And it wasn't even that I was mad that I didn't have it because nobody had it yet. It was, I don't like this toy's buttons, and I don't like the other people on the playground with this particular toy, and I don't like the way it bounces. I was not happy about anything. So, if I were the universe in that situation, the law of attraction in that situation says what you focus on expand. I focused on how unhappy I was with my toy. And then I got to be unhappy about not getting the new toy. Yay.
right. And if you had worked for the new toy, if you had been convicted that the new toy is mine, I am doing everything that I need to, my part of the equation, to have the new shiny toy, and I am committed to that new shiny toy. That new shiny toy would have been yours.
It would have been mine. And if it wasn't mine, I would have had a right to throw fits. And something far greater would have come of that. And something far greater is coming of it anyway.
Right.
Like I said, other new shiny toys on the playground on an
Right.
entirely different playground that I'm not grumpy about at all.
Well, right. And that's just it. If you had been convicted and committed to that playground, that shiny toy would have shown up.
Mm-hmm.
And so those moments where you said, oh, I am done. I am staying here. I don't know what you people need to do to turn their no into a yes, because this is happening. You were convicted to your toes.
Yes.
That was a done deal. You were accepting nothing less.
Yeah.
That's a piece that I'm really working at wrapping my brain around. I have a coach that I have done work with in the past, and she does a lot of money mindset, wealthy goddess kind of stuff. And work, powerful work. I don't want to diminish that. And sometimes I have a hard time wrapping my brain around, if you're simply committed and convicted about it and you feel that to your toes, it will show up, whether it's $3,000 a month, $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, $100,000 a month. And it's like, but I've been convicted, and I've put in the effort, and I've done the marketing, and those $10,000 months are elusive. What gives? So,
So there's another aspect to that came up of like, what are you available for? So on some level, I'm available for driving a car with no AC. This is the last.
Oh my God, that sounds miserable in the middle of summer in Missouri. Oh, Illinois.
No, yeah,
Close
Illinois, that might as well be Missouri. I mean, if I sneeze, I'm in St. Louis.
Mid.
Yeah.
Humid.
Yeah. No AC. But I work 2 minutes from home when I'm not working from home.
Oh.
So, however, I am available for cars blue booked under $2,000 that don't have AC. I'm somehow available for that.
So I think that's an important piece to go along with the asking, because if I ask for what's like an Audi A4, just because I know that's a higher priced car, but it's not like I'm asking for a freaking Tesla or something, right? So I ask for an A4. I get my crew on this. I want an A4. I want it new. I don't even know what an Audi A4, what some of the special packages are, but let's just say there's a sports package with a moonroof and, you know, all the bells and freaking whistles, and I want it in charcoal gray.
Yeah.
Because I just don't think that car would look right red. But anyway, so I ask for that. That's what I really want. So what's this? Talk to me. How do we pair that? Because I think this is going to be an important piece for people. How do we pair that with what I'm available for? Because looking out at my car that really needs a bath right now, although the needing of a bath makes it a charcoal gray, it's really black. But so, and it's 14 years old. And God bless that car. It has been fabulous. Is that what I'm available for? And how do I become available for an A4 if I'm going to say that I want an A4?
I like that question. How do I become available for an A4?
Right.
In charcoal gray with the sports package and the moonroof with total ease.
Yeah.
So I would have to really puzzle through that, because there's some things that I used to be available for that I am no longer available for. I'm no longer available to be cheated on in a relationship. I was for 14 and a half years, and then suddenly I wasn't, and my ex-husband was like, but why? Because I growed. But, but even I couldn't answer him then.
He
Like,
didn't really ask that.
oh, his exact words were, "We've been through worse things than this. Why can't we get through this too?"
Good for you for deciding you were done.
My response was, honestly, I don't know. I guess I love myself more now than I did then.
Nice.
And that just came out of my mouth. Sometimes my filter's broken and things just escape. What escaped that day. There were no thoughts. That was just
That was the truth.
it was the truth. I was no longer available. And it's really weird because I knew the person he had slept with. I knew how she was with her body. I knew that he knew how she was with her body because I had told him some things. And yet you had sex with her and now you expect to come back over here? Nah, boo. Nah. And I can't say it was because I didn't know the other women. I don't know. But that was my logic at the time. My 29-year-old brain was like, this is why. But the answer is now. Um, and yeah, so growth is all I could say is the reason that I was no longer available for that. I am no longer available for a zero balance bank account. I look forward to the day where I am no longer available for my bank account to be below $2,000 after all
Ooh.
the bills are paid. I like 2 grand. It's a nice number. I don't know where it came from, but I like it.
I think it's all those O's. Oh, 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 oh. I think there's 5. Oh.
um,
So, so really, part of what I hear that I think is important for the people watching this is, yes, ask big things, little things. Can you bring me a glass of juice? Relatively small in the grand scheme of things, and can feel big when you're not used to asking for assistance or asking people to do stuff for you or things like that. Um, ask, ask, be bold and ask. And if it seems like the answer continuously is no, asking yourself, is this something I'm even available for, can be a powerful place to do some inner work.
I like that a lot.
I might have to go do some journaling on that myself.
Yeah, because there are some things that I've been told no to for like a year now. It's become fun. I'm house shopping, y'all. If so that you're not scratching your head like what? Um, I've been house shopping for over a year now, and it's only recently, like in the last 6 weeks ish, that I've been like, okay, what the fuck is this? What am I worried about? What resistance am I creating? I got Canadian for a second. That was
You
wonderful.
did. I kind of chuckled internally.
Apparently, I always do that, but I never notice until I notice. And then when I notice, I laugh at myself. Um, what resistance do I have? And now, and sometimes when you look at the resistance that you have, especially when you're creating with another human, then you get to talk about that resistance with said other human. Big girl corset's getting a lot of exercise. we have graduated from the panties. We've moved on to corsets. They're sexy. I like them. Anyway, so yeah, some fun, juicy conversations get to be had. And then it's, what would it take for me to be available for the 5 bedroom, 3.5 bath on 2.5 acres? It's basically free, but I don't have free when free is $3,000 or $300,000. You know, we didn't really qualify for free. We qualified for about half of free. So
I know there's somebody who's looking for a caretaker to live on their land, but it's in Oregon.
oh, if I could get them to Oregon, I'd probably go.
It's a
Because,
nice area of Oregon too,
I can work from anywhere.
right?
But yeah, what are we available for? And what would it take to be available for what we're asking for?
Yeah.
I like ending things there.
Yeah, I think that's a great place to end. Continue asking and ask yourself, what am I available for, and what do I need to do to become available for whatever?
And what am I no longer going to be available for? So that
Yes.
I can have, am I no longer available for midnight snacks so I can have abs? Convert the midnight snacks into cherries. No more midnight lava cakes.
But there's chocolate lava in the cake. So yeah, and I think that's, yes, not only what can I, what do I need to do to be available for? Am I available for X, Y, or Z? But on the flip side, and when I liken it to walking the medicine wheel, for those of you who don't know, my half side is native, and is when we see our darknesses and we decide, I'm setting this down, and my darkness is anything that's preventing me from being at 100%. Maybe it's pettiness, maybe it's fear, maybe it's self-judgment, whatever.
I need to write that down, but go on, I'm listening.
Okay. And then we set it down. And then when we travel the wheel and we head to the east, that's, a new dawn, a new day, a new thing. And so we have to put something new in its place because the universe doesn't like a vacuum. But so, yay, I want to be available for this 5 bedroom. How many bath?
3.5 bath on 2 acres, on 2 freaking acres in the middle of the city.
It was the 2.5 acres. I'm like, 2.5 bathrooms. No, it was more bathrooms. How many bathrooms? It was the 2.5 acres that stuck in my head. So yes, what do I need to do to be available for that? And on the flip of that and that means I am no longer available for zero balance bank accounts. I'm no longer available for living in tiny cramped apartments. I'm no longer available. It's almost like your extreme gratitude list that we started with. These are the things I am no longer available for. And sometimes we get to walk the wheel multiple times on the same damn thing because it takes practice. When we go to we practice, we have that foundation of practicing and clearing out these old things, because sometimes those old tapes have been playing a long ass time. And that's when you call Layla or myself or another healer or coach, if you have one in your back pocket, to help you clear that stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that. What am I available for? That's a great thing, I think, to, like you said, to end with and partner with the asking this week. What am I available for? And what am I no longer available for?
Yeah, and I'd love to hear what you're no longer available for in the comments below, because that's always a juicy conversation.
Yes.
See you guys next time.
Bye-bye.